This book is about rats. It's a subject that most people don't care for. It makes their skin crawl. But I think when we finish this book, you may have some different ideas about rats. The book is called Rats Around Us. It was written by Rachel Egan. There's no illustrator because the book contains only photographs. The book has a table of contents, which is always the best way to tell how it is organized. Let's go through it together. So, each of these is organized by a topic, and the table of contents tells us what page number it starts on. So on page 4, I'm going to read about scratch and sniff. But my book is also organized into topics and subtopics. So for example, under scratch and sniff, which is my main topic, I have the subtopic here, faux in front. When I pick up a nonfiction book, that's the first thing I do. Look at the table of contents and see if this is the kind of book I want. Then I look through the book and see how it's put together. And I notice I have some text boxes here, and I have some photographs. And I also, if I flip towards the back of the book, I notice that there is a glossary. Okay, and then in the glossary, it has the words that are in bolds with the definitions. It also has an index, so if I'm looking for a specific word, like adaptations, I can find that word that appears on these pages 4, 6, 8, 17, and 21. Okay, so we're going to go back now to the beginning, and we're going to start reading. What is buck-toothed, short-sighted, and furry? Who are the midnight bandits that rifle through the garbage and dart away at the sound of footsteps? The answer to both of these questions is rats. They live on almost every continent, happily nesting in dumpsters, riverbanks, and on the walls of buildings. Rats can adapt, survive, and thrive in almost any environment and against all odds. What can I infer here? Meaning, what can I figure out the author hasn't directly stated? Okay. It's a rat's life. Loved and hated the world over, rats outnumbered humans on every continent except Antarctica. They devour human food, spread disease, and wreak havoc on natural environments. They chew through wood, metal, bone, and even electrical wires, accidentally setting houses on fire. Rats contaminate huge stores of grain with their urine and droppings, making it unfit for humans to eat. Rats are also to blame for thousands of cases of food poisoning and other illnesses. Down the bottom here you can see our picture of the rat coming through something. It says rats live almost everywhere, including your neighborhood. So what is the picture the author is trying to paint about rats? What does the author think humans could do with modern technology? Do you think this is a good idea? Foe and friend. Luckily, rats are not all bad. Curious, affectionate, and smart, they are beloved pets in many families. Rats also help save lives. They are used in labs for research on human diseases such as cancer. Scientists test medicines on rats to ensure that they are safe enough for people to use. The reason why rats make such excellent test subjects is that their internal organs, such as their hearts, brains, and kidneys, work in a lot of the same ways that human organs do. Currently, rats are even helping scientists to learn more about spinal cord injuries. One day, this work might allow people in wheelchairs to walk again. Show you this down here too. So let's look at the pictures. Okay. Look at the picture down here. Are rats' jaws smaller or larger than humans? Which set of jaws do you think would be stronger? Humans or rats? Nothing but the tooth. Crawly fact. Rats have chisel-like front teeth that are visible from the outside when their mouths are closed. Unlike human teeth, rats' pearly whites grow constantly, up to 5 inches every year. So how do rats keep their teeth the same length? By chewing. Rats can gnaw through just about any material, including wood, plastic, and metal. They can easily dig through cinder blocks, gently hacking their way through newly constructed buildings. Their teeth are so strong that they can chomp down with a force of 24,000 pounds per square inch. That's more than 20 times the strength of a human bite. What is a chisel? Can you imagine your own teeth growing 5 inches in 1 year? Creepy stuff. Rats live everywhere people do. The reason? The food. Rats scavenge human food, and squat in human shelters. Rats live under the porch, in the attic, and behind the walls of buildings. They scurry through the subways and take up residence in restaurants. Thanks for the grub. Rats are commensal, a word that comes from 2 Latin words, commensa, which means to share a table. Certain species of rats became dependent on humans hundreds of years ago, and they have never looked back. Quite simply, these rats need people. In North America, there are only 2 main types of commensal rats, Norway and black rats. It is thanks to humans that commensal rats have become the most widely distributed mammals on Earth. Show a picture here. It says, "Don't mind if I do. Rats are house guests even when they are not pets." And the questions here are all rats commensal? Does that mean there are kinds of rats that are not commensal? Stuffed with rats. Here is a question that has befuddled scientists for centuries. Just how many rats are there? At one time, it was thought that in cities there was probably about 1 rat for every person. But with huge populations like New York City, scientists went back to check their numbers. Today, it is believed that rats outnumber humans worldwide, but it is still difficult to say how many live in one place. Some scientists believe that in big cities where food and shelter is readily available, it is safe to say that there is at least 1 rat per 36 people. If there is at least 1 rat for every 36 people in New York City, and there are 8.3 million people, at least how many rats can we estimate live there? Germ carriers. Rats have been accused of spreading deadly diseases for centuries. Rats tend to live in crowded, filthy conditions, making them excellent carriers of food poisoning. But it gets worse. Rats can also spread leptospirosis, also known as Weil's disease, typhus, spotted fever, trichinosis, rat bite fever, and hantavirus. Today's special, roasted rat. When explorers first began sailing the seas in search of new lands, it was not uncommon for sailors to dine on rats. Ships were not equipped with modern refrigeration, so food spoiled very quickly on ships at sea. Rats, which were always plentiful on ships, became a reliable meal. Today, these protein-packed rodents are enjoyed in many parts of the world, including the Philippines, Vietnam, China, and parts of East Africa. In Sicily, it is not uncommon to find rats in markets. sold in bundles tied together by their tails.